Something huge is about to happen in West African finance. And no, I'm not talking about some flashy new app you can download. This is a silent, almost invisible revolution, and it all kicks off on one very specific day.
Okay, so get this date in your head, September 30th, 2025. That is the day PI-SPI launches. It's an infrastructure that will instantly connect every single financial player across 8 different countries. And to really get why this is a huge deal, we first need to understand the problem it's built to solve.
Right now, the financial world in the West African Economic and Monetary Union, the UEMOA region, it's fragmented. Think of it like a neighborhood full of beautiful houses with amazing gardens, but every single one is surrounded by a massive wall. A huge piece of that landscape is run by mobile money operators. They control over 80% of all electronic transactions. And while that growth has been incredible, it's also created these really powerful silos. And those silos, they end up being super expensive and just plain frustrating for you, the average person. And this is where that frustration really hits home. If you're sending money inside the same garden, say from one Orange Money account to another, it's fast, it's cheap, it's easy. But the second you try to cross one of those walls to send money to a different network or to a bank account, forget it. It gets slow, it gets expensive, and a lot of the time people are literally forced to go to an agent, cash out their money, and then walk it over to another agent to deposit it somewhere else. So what do? How do you tear down all those walls? Well, the region's central bank, the BCEAO, came up with a pretty elegant solution. They decided, why bother tearing down walls when we can just build a financial superhighway that flies right over them? And that superhighway is PSP. It's a 24/7 account-agnostic payment system. Now, that phrase right there, account agnostic, that is the secret sauce. It means the system literally does not care where your money lives. It could be in a big bank, a mobile wallet, or a local microfinance institution. PSP is designed to connect all of them seamlessly. Okay, so what does this actually look like for you in real life? It means you can be on your Wave wallet and send money directly to your friend's Orange Money account. It means you can transfer cash from your UBA bank account to a family member's microfinance account. It all happens instantly across 8 countries, and all you need is a phone number. All that friction, all that hassle, it just disappears. Now, you might be thinking, this sounds really ambitious. And it is, but this isn't some crazy, untested experiment. The Central Bank of West African states didn't just dream this up. They looked all around the world at systems that were already working. You can actually see how they cherry-picked the best ideas from other wildly successful systems. They took inspiration from India's UPI, with its open architecture that lets anyone build on top of it. They looked at Brazil's PIX, which is also led by the central bank and makes participation mandatory for the big players. And, most critically, they made sure that person-to-person transfers would be either free or extremely cheap, because that's how you get everyone to use it.
Okay, so a universal super cheap payment system is coming. And this is where things get really dramatic, because PI-SPI isn't just a tech upgrade. It's a fundamental shakeup of the entire market.
The old rules, they're out the window for every single player in this space. The banks, the telcos, the fintech startups, and the agents on the street. The game is about to change forever. Everybody's business model is officially under review. Let's start with the banks. For them, this could be a golden opportunity, a real digital renaissance. After kind of losing the payments game to the telcos, they suddenly have the exact same instant, low-cost tools. But there's a huge risk. If they don't build amazing, easy-to-use apps, they risk becoming just invisible pipes, while other companies own the actual relationship with the customer. Okay, now for the telcos. For them, the walled garden party is officially over. Their biggest competitive advantage, the fact that it was cheap to send money on their network, is gone. That whole distinction between an on-net and an off-net transfer just vanishes. The only way they survive and thrive is to evolve into super apps, offering more than just payments, like insurance or e-commerce. So what about the fintechs, the disruptors, like Wave? This is where it gets tricky. It's a real paradox. On one hand, PI-SPI completely validates their whole vision of cheap, open payments. But on the other hand, it gives that same superpower to everybody else, which neutralizes their main selling point, that 1% fee. The fight isn't about who's cheapest anymore, it's about who builds the absolute best product. And finally, let's talk about the agents. The millions of people who form the human backbone of this whole digital economy. What happens to them when physical cash starts to disappear? Well, their role has to change.
They need to shift from just being cash handlers to becoming digital brokers, helping people sign up, providing customer support, and being that human link to this new digital world.
And this is so important to understand. PI-SPI isn't the finish line. Not even close. It's the beginning. It's the foundation. It is the rails on which a whole new generation of financial innovation is about to be built.
So what kind of stuff are we talking about? What can you build on these new rails?
Well, think about things like a request-to-pay feature, making it super simple to pay your bills, or new ways of scoring credit digitally so more people can get loans. Think about automated financing for small businesses. And eventually, the Holy Grail, connecting these national systems to create cheap, instant payments across the entire African continent. And that leads us to the big, final question. The central bank has laid the tracks. They're shiny, they're new, and they're open to everyone. So now the race begins. The winner isn't going to be the company that owns the network anymore. The winner will be the one that builds the fastest, smartest, most innovative train to run on those tracks. So the question is, who's it going to be?